It's 14:28 on the same day. It's Saturday, and I'm just uploading from the southwest of Ireland, where there are individuals that are of a mindset that isn't exactly safe. Um, Whether there are financial racketeers or financial fraudsters still active is undoubtable and unquestionable. As I've said, I've been of recovery advocacy that has been of health and wealth recovery and crime prevention. And people think that when a woman becomes married, apparently in a democracy, that people from other countries are able to walk into property and farms with more crimes against the state, and take children when they feel like it. In a democracy, that's kind of unsafe. And people that are disrespecting health and wealth recovery from me would want to do their sums properly and a little bit more accurately before children's lives are really put at risk. And they already have been put at risk with all the liabilities that are active since 2006 in the southwest of Ireland. So those people that aren't working with really factual information, I think it'd be best in the best interest of their families that they love so much and hold so dear, to be very careful about miscalculating any circumstances with any more financial racketeering or fraud that I am tolerating. People that don't know how to do their sums properly and aren't calculating the debt that Ireland and the United Kingdom owes me would want to be so careful about risking their children's safety with crime. It's very dangerous, the crime that's going on with my son unlawfully from my care. Those people that are responsible for withholding my child illegally and subjecting him to trauma and upset and abuse are taking on a very dangerous cross. It's a very dangerous cross, ever harming innocent life. So those people that are responsible for those unlawful papers and defamation of my character are really a liability unto their own lives. And that really concerns me from a recovery advocate status, as someone that has worked with mental health. I am really concerned for people that are working with a faulty mindset that isn't in line with democracy, and they are enjoying the joys of democracy in the country where I am of legislation, and responsible for the legislation north and south of the border that is also being frauded. So there are people that are quite mercurial and they're quite mischievous with other people's professional portfolios, and I think it's the green-eyed monster that they're having issues with. So they'd want to sort out their issues with their inner demons, because they've already caused a lot of consternation and controversy with their practices in the faith realms that they're still offending and abusing, as we all already know. So those that aren't fit for purpose would want to be careful about doing any poor calculations regarding the reality of these circumstances. Those that are suffering from mental health illnesses and that aren't doing their paperwork properly, I'd advise you not to cause offence to my farm holdings with financial racketeers or financial frauds that are not exactly in the best of health with their spirituality or my royal families, and that's with the past 2 decades. So they're really after upsetting my son, so I wouldn't want they risking their own children to offend my beautiful little boy wherever he is. God help us and spare us. So it's unforgivable. Those people that are parking in my proximity illegally, I would advise you to remove yourselves, really. I would hate for anyone to incur any penalties or consequences for offending proximity, privacy or protocol, and especially if you're associated with any financial fraud or racketeering that is already after being an issue in this country, that all financial institutions are fully aware of. So those that are associating fraud, financial fraud I might add, with my farms and my family, my royal family, I'd advise you to be so careful about breaking the law. My farms and my family are not safe for those coveting or that have been of offences against my matrimony that is still legally binding. And those that are lucky to still be alive to this day, as a consequence of me, I would appreciate you having a little bit of gratitude, if it's not a little bit of dignity that you're lacking in. So those that are disrespecting human life and that have no right or entitlement to anything of my wealth or my fortune, I'd advise you to do your sums properly before you cause yourselves any more expensive damages, harms and losses in this country that we love so well. And those fortunate to be in Ireland, please respect our pastures and our property, and don't trespass where we have full knowledge of the debts you have owing to my name personally, that namely being in Ardfort and Kilflynn. So the authorities that are aware that there are unlawful care orders and mentally unstable adults offending my child's upbringing. Dear God, what can I say? Only that the social influencers are setting a really bad example to their little ones, and as we know, that always puts their safety at risk, with bad ASBOs being an example in their lives. So if you don't have the reparations or resolutions, be careful about the consternation that is being caused unduly to society. We've tolerated quite enough of ASBOs in South West Ireland, and they obviously don't have good arithmetic skills. So I'm calculating everyone's debts back to 2006 from the United Kingdom and Ireland, and anyone illegally interfering with my child or intruding upon my son's upbringing, I hate to tell you the expense of damages to any of his needs or wants as a young person, and etc. That's all I have to say at the moment. But those that are not observing Royal Protocol, I'd advise you very carefully to remove yourselves before there are people paying for innocent life, and so on and so forth, again in society where they have been of bad faith.